Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Robotics Notes DaSH. In the last episode, both Daru and Airi wanted, well, to let Kaito and Akiho explore the festivities for themselves. Daru because he didn't want to get in the way, and Airi because she wanted to, spend the day by herself. But one thing led to another, and essentially all four of them pretty much spent the afternoon together. But in a way it was kind of fortuitous, because soon afterwards the group learned from Juna that, well, Sumio was invited an idol to participate in the festivities, which should prove to be very interesting. But now it is night time, and Airi is, well, for obvious reasons, still living in Kaito's house, because of course she is. It's been almost half a year since I moved into Big Brother's house. Not that kind of Big Brother. Not the 1984 equivalent either. I've grown quite comfortable in this extra room they let me use. And so, while relaxing in this cozy space, I've called the conversation for this afternoon.
大人になった自分
I was diagnosed with an incurable disease at birth. You won't die immediately, but it will be difficult to cure. Professionals around me hammered this home, morphing my world into one where I wasn't allowed to think about the future. Given the fact that Kaito and Daru have come to the conclusion that this tale has been woven by none other than Ko Kimijima. Makes one wonder just how many other people he might have influenced to perpetuate this lie. But now that my disease has been cured, thanks to modern medical technology, a whole new path is open for me. A path I thought was forever sealed. A long and wide path called the future, quote unquote. But
そんなこと急に言われてもわからないです
those are my honest feelings. The future never existed for me. I never imagined that I'd be presented with a bright and hopeful tomorrow just like everyone else. What am I supposed to do with something like that all of a sudden? Who can say? I've no memories of living an ordinary life, no experience. Because of my condition, I was barely able to attend school. Sure, there are classmates that I remember, but I only recognize their faces, nothing else. Plus, I still look like a child. The girl I saw earlier today probably doesn't even remember me, which is, in its own way, perhaps for the best, because if she did recognize you, yeah, she too will be wondering how and why Airi still looks the way that she did. Yeah, and even if she did, she'd probably freak out like she had seen a ghost. That's why I don't really have any friends. All I have are the members of the Churo Tanigashima High Robotics Club and their families. But to them I might be more like a little sister or daughter.
もし私が大人だったら
If only. This is why I'm driven to such thoughts. If I had developed as an ordinary girl, maybe I would have had more friends. Maybe I would have had a different relationship with Big Brother, Akiho-san, and the others. But it's pointless to think about any of this. And yet I can't stop myself from imagining a different life for myself. I take a sip of the water sitting on my desk to try and drive off these thoughts. Not that they're bad, mind you. At that moment... Perhaps my body wasn't ready for the sudden supply of water. I got the hiccups. Oh dear. Which, yeah. Isn't really good, especially when drinking fluids. Yeah, that's, It's not like anyone is watching me, but I still feel embarrassed for some reason, and I direct my gaze out the window. That's when... Perhaps there's someone outside that she has just seen. An unknown figure suddenly enters my line of sight, causing me to gasp. It's the hazy image of a young woman. Don't know that word, but in a moment I will find out. Nirei Meijo. One of the yokai in Tanigashima, the ghost of a woman who is soaking wet. The typical name for this yokai is Nurei Ona, wet woman, but it is called Nurei Yomeijo on Tanigashima, with Yomeijo being the word for young woman in the Tanigashima dialect. And now I know. On Tanigashima exists a certain kind of ghost known as a Nurei Yomeijo. The term directly refers to the ghosts of young women. I honestly thought for a moment that one had appeared, but I'm wrong. It wasn't. The hazy-looking woman by the window is looking at me with a hand on her mouth, surprised for some reason. Did I just happen to make eye contact with someone walking by? Could be. But if they're actually real, why are they so blurry? I wonder why. I was surprised at first, but for some reason I don't feel scared. I slowly lowered the hand that was on my mouth and walked toward the window. Then... How odd. The woman by the window also lowers her hand from her mouth and inches closer. I raise my left hand. Then she raises her right hand. That's right. She's She's an image of myself projected onto the window. Whenever I move, the woman also moves the exact same way.
私
There's no doubt, the woman at the window is me.
だけど
She moves just like I do, but her appearance is much more adult. Curious, and also, yeah, very strange.
そういえば
I feel like the scenery is different than usual. It almost feels like I'm higher up. I hurry to look at my hands and feet. Everything's familiar, even the placement of my moles. But all my limbs seem longer. Plus,
おっぱい
my breasts have gotten a lot bigger in size. Thank you for that observation. I hurry to remove the covers off of the mirror and see the exact woman I saw in the window. Yeah, this is very, very peculiar indeed. Yeah, I was willing to chalk it off as being the image of her reflection being distorted in such a way that it would have the appearance of seeming like a completely different person. But that isn't the case. That isn't the case at all. Well, Airi Yukifune, in a manner of speaking, you have obtained your wish. Or at least, the delusion of one, which, is very odd that, this has happened so suddenly. And, yeah, completely out of the blue. Yeah. Also could be that, yeah, that this delusion is currently isolated to Airi. But I wonder how Kaito and the others might react. She looks around 20 years old. In other words, the age that you would have been at this point in time if you hadn't been in cold sleep. I slowly pinch my cheek.
痛い
It's not a dream. Of course it isn't. This is definitely me. One way or another, it is. A knock on the door causes me to reflexively leap into the air in surprise.
アイリちゃんどうしたのなんか声が聞こえたけど。
あ、いえ、なんでもないです。
I wonder why. Why?
本当？ずいぶん大きな声だったけど。
平気です。ちょっとお部屋の中に虫が出て。
虫？大変だ。待ってて、今すぐに。
大丈夫です。もう窓から出て行っちゃいましたから。
Nice save there, Airi.
本当？
はい。
Unfortunately, this is not going to be a problem that can be avoided quite so easily.
だったらいいけど、何かあったら言ってよ。
はい、ありがとうございました、お兄ちゃん。
うん、それじゃあ、おやすみ。
おやすみなさい。
Big Brother's footsteps draw farther. I sigh in relief. And at that moment, another small hiccup. Then, together with a sense of dizziness, I notice that my line of sight is lower.
もしかして。
I quickly look at the window and find the usual me looking back.
今のは何だったんでしょう。
That is a very good question, Airi. Unfortunately, I find no answer to my question. Very peculiar.
さてと。
I once again wake up to the sound of my alarm clock. Thank heavens for the snooze function. My life at remedial school has been much more well regulated than when I was in high school. Well, no crud. I wake up early, eat breakfast, and head to school. I study into the late afternoon, then I review the lesson in the study room. I go to sleep early at night. I don't stay up to play KB online anymore like I used to. Which would essentially mean that your online handle, Umisho Kaito, is no longer top dog anymore. That probably doesn't matter. I've gotten used to this daily pattern, but if I let my guard down, I'll probably start slacking off again. Humans always take the path of least resistance. True that. So even while back home during summer break, I decided to maintain a well-regulated schedule. But I can't shake off the sleepiness. Unfortunately, one cannot stay in bed forever, Kaito. And I should know. As soon as I let a huge one loose, the door to the living room opens. And in appears Airi. We moved into our house after I moved into the school dorm on the mainland. When I initially came home, I was a little uncomfortable with the idea of seeing Airi here. I've gotten used to the situation over the past several days. I still get embarrassed being so exposed to her. I decided to try and talk to her to try and avert my attention away from this feeling.
おはよ
おはようございます。
Huh? What's up with her? She sounds a bit out of it today. Didn't she say there was a bug in her room last night? Yeah. Yes, she did.
う。大丈夫だった虫。
はい、虫ですか？
あれ、夜中部屋に虫が出たって言ってたよね。
figured that was why she seemed tired, but I guess I'm wrong.
ああ、はい、大丈夫でした。ご心配かけてすみません、カイトさん。
You're only making things seem a little bit more suspicious, Airi. Something is off, yeah, especially with that honorific. And it's obvious what it is. She called me Kaito-san. I heard her clear as day. What happened to Big Brother?
カイトさん。
だってやっぱりカイトさんは私のお兄ちゃんじゃないので。
That's true, but yeah.
それともやっぱりお兄ちゃんって呼ばれた方が嬉しいですか？
いや。
In all honesty, as an only child, I welcome the idea of being called Big Brother. But do I prefer it? I can't just blatantly say yes to that. Maybe because it reminded me of Hashida-san for a second. Yeah, I was going to say.
それじゃあ今日からはカイトさんって呼びますね。
ああ。
Yeah, a little out of step, but it is what it is. I nod in affirmation, though I can't help but feel a little sad about the way she's referring to me.
そういえばカイトさんは今日はどうするんですか？
まあ一応祭りに行くつもりだけど。
Our pals at the Robotics Club are running all kinds of events during the Waizaka Gun Festival. Since I have to study, I can't get too involved, but I thought I should be there at least for moral support. Hashida-san is probably a big part of why I feel that way. In more ways than one. He can be a weirdo, but when push comes to shove, he's someone you can rely on. Or at least that's how he makes me feel. A strange guy.
アイリちゃんはどうするの？
私も行くつもりですよ。
それじゃあ一緒に行く？俺もうすぐ出ちゃうけど。
私はもう少し後で行くつもりなので先に行っててくれて大丈夫ですよ。
Says Airi with a smile as she walks back into her room. Yeah, she's still trying to assert some independence. I've got no other choice. I guess I'm heading to the festival alone today. Just as I'm about to head out, I hear Airi screaming from the back of the hall where her room is.
アイリちゃん、どうかしたの？もしかしてまた虫が出た？
Yes and no in a manner of speaking.
はい、そうなんです。昨日逃げたと思ってたのに、まだいたみたいで。
殺虫剤持ってこようか？
大丈夫、平気ですから。
でも。
本当に大丈夫なので、心配しないでください。
そう。
I'd love if she relied on me a little for stuff like this, but if she doesn't want my help, that's all there is to it. Either way, it's still a little sad that she's gone from calling me Big Brother to Kaito-san. And now we're back in Daru. With Daru, sorry, in the streets of the festival. And among the stalls again. Which is where I'm going to close off this episode of Let's Play Robotics Notes DaSH. And when we return, this issue with Airi could definitely complicate matters. As always, until next we meet.